Welcome back to In Pursuit of Truth. This is Sir Patrick Mack, your host. We have got some new Q posts as of March 24th, 2018, and we're going to get right on them. But first, I would like to show you something and express my sincerest apologies. Last night, I posted a video, got a few hundred views, and it was missing some really important audio. Over the last 48 hours, I have been under attack. I think my Facebook somebody's been trying to log into my Facebook 3 or 4 times now, and I keep screenshotting all the different attempts. But anyway, I posted a video regarding March 23rd, which would have been yesterday, and I was taking you back through some news, and we didn't quite catch it all. Now I'm going to skim over it really quick just so you can understand what the point was. This is Arizona Daily News from back in 2016, March 23rd. Bomb threat, suspicious packages cause Pima, Arizona evacuations. Incidentally, in another I think it was in Atlanta, there was a bomb threat or at least a bomb scare, something like that at the airport, and there was a WWE wrestler, something like that. There was a lot of things going on March 23rd, 2016. That was the whole point. And then I took you over to this video from ABC News, which was from March 23rd of 2017, which was of last year. And of course, this all happened last year. Now, if you watched the video, you would have been assuming that I was reporting this now. That was not the case, and my sincerest apologies. What I was really simply doing was just noticing that as I was investigating originally this story, I was coming up on other incidents that came up on March 23rd. So if you saw the video and were a little confused, my sincere apologies, and I want to clear that up right now, that this was what was intended for you to see. You didn't see the stuff that led up to it, and that would have created some confusion. So anyway, we're going to move off this, but first let me at least touch on what this story was as of yesterday. FBI investigating fiery fatal crash after gate breached at Travis Air Force Base. We're on the Air Force Times. The FBI and Air Force Office of Special Investigations are investigating the breach of a main gate at Travis Air Force Base in California that ended in a fiery crash and the driver's death. In a release Thursday evening, Travis officials said the unidentified driver gained unauthorized access to the base through the main gate shortly between 7 p.m. the previous night, which I find very interesting. Now, they are reporting as of today that they are treating this as an act of terrorism. This is American military news. Now, I'm going to get off this stuff because this was from yesterday, but I just wanted to let you know that those were the headlines at the time, and I was relating them to March 23rd. We are now on March 24th with the post, but this is from last night, or I guess yesterday, 1:09, March 23rd. We have trip code update Q. Then we've got updated trip code Q. This is literally about 30 seconds later. And then we have at 1:14, clock activated, red castle, green castle with an underscore between, stage underscore 5, and in brackets we've got a Y signed by Q. Those are the only Q posts that we have right now. We're going to take a look at them. I will give you my analysis, and then I want to share with you a little theory that I have, or at least that I'm starting to formulate. And that'll be it. Okay, so here we go. Trip code update right next to updated trip code. Should be pretty simple. Well, if you are following this, and I'm not an expert here, but this is essentially Q's trip code. Okay, and as you can see from down here, March 21st, every time you see Q, this is how we kind of know it is Q. A lot of fakes, but that's Q's trip code. Now, lots of people have always been trying to mess with that trip code, and of course, we've had to follow Q a little bit, but we always get some sort of confirmation. Okay, literally seconds later, we get the updated trip code, which is now this, as you'll see, is different from the one down below. Okay, this should be our confirmation that it is Q, and that's all we're really looking into on that. Now we're moving on to this one. Clock activated, red castle, green castle, stage 5, and Y in brackets. Okay, so that's all we have for the Q. Let's take a look at what it means. Well, I don't think we have to mess with the trip code stuff, but clock activated. Now, my theory on this is we've seen clock activated used quite a few times, and for me, it seems to signify the beginning of a new stage. Every time we enter a new stage, we end up with a clock activated, meaning we probably have so much time to accomplish this task, which would strike me, if you're Army intelligence, military intelligence, whatever, you usually have a timed goal. So that makes sense to me. Could be something else, who knows. Let's take you over here to red castle and green castle. What could those things mean? Well, if we were just searching logos, here would be some of your first views of Red Castle. We have Red Castle Games, Red Castle Incorporated, Red Castle Media. That we could probably get lost in Red Castle, but it doesn't take too long to think if this is where this is actually coming from. My guess would be right here from the U.S. Army, considering that's the source we're maybe talking to. U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, signified by a red castle. Okay, now, so what does the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers do? Well, they're engineers. They do a lot of civil engineering, military, construction, and combat. They build things. They build things. Keep in mind, they build things. They build a lot of things. All right, let's take you back to Q. We refer to Green Castle. Could Green Castle have anything to do with the Army? Sure does. Green Castle Army Corps of Engineers in Green Castle, Indiana. This is basically just sort of a landing page here to take you. This is from countyoffice.org, but there you go. You have your Green Castle in Green Castle, Indiana. Could be completely unrelated. Seems to me like we could be on to something here. Okay. Then we have stage 5.5 and Y. Well, let's take a look at the 5.5. I think we all remember seeing this before. We'll take you back to March 6th. First line, Q says, is the stage set for a drop of Hillary Rodham Clinton. Then we have a series of pluses and spaces. Raw vid 5.5. Let's see if we got anything else down here. We've got it again. This is back on February 21st. Sig _55 Sig Read. Now, there may be some conflicting ideas on this, or it may be established and maybe I'm not aware of it. SIG to me I would suggest could be Signal Intelligence Group. Sounds like a lot of comms going on in here, but that's all we have for the 5.5. What we can assume here is that Hillary Rodham Clinton, apparently there's a bit of something, whether it's of her directly or of something maybe with her voice. Who knows? We don't really know. We can only speculate as of now. I do not think it is anything regarding any kind of pedophilia or anything like this. I think this is going to be a video that's going to be able to be played, something that we can show, something that's going to be, who knows, very damning. Whether it's 5 minutes long, 5 seconds long, we don't really know. But that is the 5.5 that we are in reference to. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, I would like to take you to the Y. Well, let's type that in. We obviously takes to this post, and then one back in November 9th, 2017. Follow with me here. It's a big post. We're not going to read the whole thing, but you'll see we have other letters that are being searched here too. But the beginning says trip added. So whether it's a trip code, we don't really know. Maybe some of us do. Who knows? But I just want to bring to your attention. We have a few words here in brackets. CA is here. Pray. P-R-A-Y. We have pray. Okay. And at the very last, we have find the keystone. Well, we've been asked to find the keystone before. What could the keystone be? Could it be related to the Red Castle and the Green Castle? Well, we don't really know, do we? Or do we? Let me take you over here to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers again in Keystone Lake. Keystone Lake's blue-green water and the natural beauty of its setting, wooded shoreline, blah, blah, blah. Where is Keystone Lake? The lake is on the Arkansas River, Hillary's home state. Incidentally, we have a video of Hillary coming out. Could this be the Keystone? Don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, those are your Q posts. I have one more quick theory to share with you, and it's not just sort of a developing formulative theory, if you will, regarding what's going on, not just with the Q post, but what's going on in current events. And if you'd like to hear that, just stick with me. Otherwise, those are your Q posts, and I'll keep you posted up on anything that pops up in the near future here. So let's take you over to CNN Money. As we all know, China plans to hit U.S. with tariffs following Trump trade sanctions. I'm not going to get into a ton of this. I just kind of want to set the stage a little bit here. We all know that Trump has renegotiated. We have the Section 301 investigation into China. China is sort of retaliating with the sanctions. This to me seems like a lot of outward play, but let's just assume this is absolutely insane. It's just it's going to spark a trade war. Let's assume the worst, right? It's going to spark a trade war. Well, if a trade war gets sparked, Dow is most certainly going to go down because no one's going to want to be doing a lot of investing and trading. Then it's going to bring that Dow down. If that Dow comes down, it could crash the dollar. Incidentally, also, Donald Trump reveals decision on Omnibus bill. We are on Breitbart. President Donald Trump announced the press availability at the White House on Friday to reveal his decision on the $1.3 trillion omnibus spending bill. Okay, well, this has a lot of conservatives shaken up, and outwardly, it's easy to figure out why. Trump caved on DACA. He caved on the sanctuary cities. He didn't really quite get the money that he wanted for the wall. Got a little bit. It's probably not going to be enough. It seems very outwardly unsatisfying, and I would agree with you, and I will not rule out the fact that it could be a complete disaster. It looks like an utter sellout. In addition, he's added John Bolton, which people are not very, very thrilled with. But anyway, let's just talk about the omnibus. What is an omnibus? It's Latin for all, containing two or more independent matters, a term frequently used in reference to a legislative bill comprised of two or more general subjects that is designed to compel the executive to approve provisions that he or she would otherwise reject, but that he or she signs into law to prevent the defeat of the entire bill. Okay, well, let's take a look at it. This is the omnibus. Okay, as you can see, 2,232 pages long. Are you ready? Let's get started. I'm just kidding. Let's take you to page 195. Section 159, services authorized by Section 3109 of Title V, United States Code. And then we have a total here. I'm not really sure exactly what it's in reference to. Fees and expenses of witnesses. For fees and expense of witnesses. For expenses of contracts for the procurement and supervision of expert witnesses. For private counsel expenses, including advances, and for expenses of foreign counsel. $270 million to remain available until expended, of which not to exceed $16 million is for construction of buildings for protected witness safe sites. $16 million is for construction of buildings for protected witness safe sites. Not to exceed $3 million is for the purchase and maintenance of armored and other vehicles for witness security caravans. And not to exceed $15 million is for the purchase, installation, maintenance, and upgrade of secure telecom equipment and a secure automated information network to store and retrieve the identities and locations of protected witnesses, provided that amounts made available under this heading may not be transferred pursuant to Section 205 of this Act. Okay, I'm not going to go into this. Ladies and gentlemen, could this be the military tribunals? Could this be the funding for the military tribunals? I'm not really sure. Okay, so here's what I want to suggest to you, and it's a bit esoteric, but just stay with me. Could it be outwardly that the dollar is going to tank, the Dow is going to tank, we're going to lose a lot of investors, we're going to lose, more importantly, I think we're going to lose a lot of consumer confidence, which is going to force, hopefully force the ideal of backing the dollar, getting that back into, at least into the narrative. Now, keep in mind, this omnibus, it is not a federal budget. It's not a federal budget, and that's important to understand the distinction. The federal budget, Donald Trump is constitutionally bound to spend and abide by. This is an omnibus. It's a bill. Okay? And this has been done before, and I'm going to show you where. This is from The Hill. This is a few years back in 2011. The Obama administration won't be bound by a gun control ban in the $1 trillion spending bill for 2012, the president said Friday. The funding provision for the federal health agency said that none of the funds made available in this title may be used in whole or in part to advocate or promote gun control. The language aims to ban taxpayer dollars from supporting gun safety research. I have advised the Congress that I will not construe these provisions as preventing me from fulfilling my constitutional responsibility to recommend to the Congress's consideration such measures as I shall judge necessary and expedient, Obama said in a statement as he signed the bill into law. Now, you can go into this whole thing. My point is that Obama also signed an omnibus, and he didn't quite use the spending the way he was supposed to, and Congress was up in arms. And the fact of the matter is that Congress really couldn't do much about it. Why would that be relevant now? Well, some of the key things in this omnibus, even though it was massive and hard to read, DACA, sanctuary cities, most of it was funding for the military, and then there was a little bit there provided for the wall. Now, I submit to you, let's wait till this IG report comes, see what happens. If we have some subpoenas, some arraignments, if we have some sort of proof of wrongdoing, some of this money that's going to be involved in this omnibus is going to be very hard for the left to retrieve. You see what I'm saying? Also, this gives Trump the ability to sort of slow walk the money that goes to sanctuary cities, something that we thought was a big loss, and it may still be. But this gives Trump a lot more room to play with than if it were a federal budget, which he would be constitutionally bound by. So all I'm suggesting is to not panic. This could be strategically brilliant. It may all fall on its face, but it could be strategically brilliant, and it could protect us. It could end up getting us the wall plus a surplus and afford those military tribunals that we're all hoping for. Just some thoughts. Okay, those are your Q posts. I am so sorry for the mix-up again from last night's video. For those of you who watched it, for those of you who stuck with me on today's video and let me rant a little bit, I really appreciate it. As always, if you like this video, please click like, share, and subscribe if you have not already. Until then, stay hungry, stay thirsty too, drink lots of water. This is Sir Patrick Mack with In Pursuit of Truth.